Hello, Savannah Duck, and we're back again for some more replays. And this time we're featuring the Tier 7 Tech Tree Polish tank, the CS-44. Now, if you notice, I believe actually Petty has recently done some replays in this tank, and I watched them and I actually thought, you know what, I think I've got some replays in this tank which I forgot about. And I had to look back, I actually did, so I've got 3 replays which basically were forgotten about, but they're actually quite nice games. Now it's interesting actually because obviously I'm sure you're all following Petty 360, but if you're not, you definitely want to check him out because he's a great player with great videos. But yeah, he played this tank, and in his replays it was all from the perspective of the basically the bigger gun, the 100mm gun. Which has 300 alpha, but 6 degrees of gun depression and a bit longer, obviously, reload. So it is actually one of the nice things about this tank is that it has options, and that's the gun Petty chose to use, and there's nothing wrong with that gun. But I choose to use the 90mm because that's my preference, and for me it has lower alpha. But probably better rate of fire, and it comes with 8 degrees of gun depression over that 6 degrees, so obviously you have a better rate of fire. I think the DPM might be better on this gun as well, but yeah, it's just one of those different options, and that's what was quite nice about this tank when I was grinding, and this line in general, to be honest. I think it's just nice that, you know, with the tier 6 as well, you have the options to the 2 guns, but they're both viable options. It just prefers what you want to play with. Like I say, Petty played with the 300 alpha gun, the 100mm, and you can see from his replay in the tank that, you know, it worked really well. But yeah, for me, I much prefer this gun. So yeah, it's quite nice actually. You can probably watch both videos, and then you can sort of see the perspective from the two different players playing two different same tank but different guns. So anyway, we get on a bit more then of the replay. So we're on highway, and at the start we sort of taken that early position near the bush. I decided not to play ultra aggressively at the start. Sometimes I do from this spawn, quite a lot of times I do. I push early for the spots and come straight down the water under the bridge. But this time I chose not to, and it worked out okay, isn't it? Because I've got a nice bit of early damage, a little bit of assistance, but I kind of figured that if I want to get a big game now, I'm going to have to push on over to their side because our whole team has come this side. So I'm going to have a lot of support, but what that does mean is I'm very conscious that their enemy team has pushed through the town and could be coming to our base. So I'm going to need to push up here early like that and see what we can spot. And we spot this Absolution and we spot this Nashon. Now we haven't spotted a lot else, have we? So I'm going to try and get a damage shot into this. Unfortunately I do eat one in return. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but he does get absolutely deleted, and I pick up a nice bit of assistance there. But now I'm not going to kind of push over and waste my time going to kill the fun police. I really would love to, but my team can deal with that. I want to push over and make sure we see if we can spot any stuff coming back for our base. And as you see, we see this full health CS-44 and this sort of buggy, and that's preventing us at the moment pushing over to get back to our base, because I suspect they are in the town area. And as you can see, I've just seen in the corner of the map now, someone's been lit near our base. So I need to get rid of these tanks as quickly as I can. And this is where the gun depression has worked out quite nicely for me, having that 8 degrees over the 6. I've been able to just sort of use this sort of ridge, this tiny ridge, to get a few shots in there, while sort of keeping myself sort of hold down but concealed between the building. But now we've gotten rid of this, we know the last 2 tanks are at the base because we spotted it earlier, and there we go, they've got in the cap. But because we've already sort of reacted from that earlier, like I said, that's why I like to run this map, because I had that information early, which has meant I had it in the back of my mind that 2 tanks were heading that way, and it's allowed me to move over basically to get to our base a little bit earlier. And I've been the first, you know, and that's worked out well for me because I was the first person to spot those guys. And that means, you know, I picked up the assistance, and now I'm just over to about 2,400 assistance damage, which obviously, as you know, when you're going for those marks of excellence, the assistance damage is a massive boost to your average damage. So this game is pretty much wrapped up. We pushed in early. We know they're not going to cap us out now. We'll easily be able to get the reloads. So I'm going to push in, just kill this champion. It's okay to use my hit points. It's completely fine for him to shoot me at this point because I don't, can't take the hit points with me in the next game, can I? So we're going to push straight over, get a few shots in. This poor little tier 6, obviously, he doesn't stand a chance now. But we finished that game off, and all that's left to see is just get to that scoreboard and see how we got on. So we managed to pick up 5 kills, 3,505 damage, 2,500 assistance. We've got the ace tanker, the high caliber, and the base defender. So yeah, all in all, that's quite a nice little game really for this tier 7 tank. And yeah, we will see you again in the next replay. Hello, we're back again for the second replay, and this time we have Proc, and we're platooned with the legend herself, Petty 360. So yeah, this one was, I think me and Petty were free marking this tank together. So yeah, we both ended up having quite a few games together, and this is one of the ones where yeah, we're both on the same team. So obviously in this replay, Petty's using the 100mm, I'm using the 90mm, and yeah, it's Proc, good matchmaking. We've got one fun police to worry about, but it's not always as bad when it's only the one. It is a Armour, I believe, though, so he's have some fairly quick rate of fire. But yeah, so we're going to push in early to sort of like the bowl location. I think Petty said he was going to go straight in the bowl on this one. So at the start, I was going to let him take that. And yeah, I'm just going to see if we can get any shots what he spots with a bit of luck. So I'm going to sort of move up to this sort of ridge, which is a ridge I often use for miss spawn. It's quite a decent one really. You can get shots into the 1-2. You can get people over peak. You might be able to get a cheeky shot into a light tank, and you've got a little bit of recover. So yeah, we try to see if we get a shot into that Dreadnought, or say a KV2 when it's crossing, but it wasn't really possible at that moment. So we're just trying to, I'm moving about a little bit here because obviously they do have the fun police in the game, but nothing was really happening. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take the bowl as well, because we did have other stuff for the RE to shoot at the time, and I thought I'm just going to see if I can spot it. Now this is where I do have the slight edge with the 90 over the 100mm gun, just because of that 8 degrees of gun depression. I can also use this ridge line a lot. I don't have to expose myself as much to get a shot because I have that extra couple of degrees of gun depression. Obviously the 100mm will have other advantages, meaning that you're not going to have to poke up as often to get that damage because you've got that bigger 300 alpha gun. So it's kind of a playstyle thing really. Like I say, it's whatever you prefer. There's no wrong or right choice, it's just whatever you do best with. So yeah, we're just going to poke up. Now this OI's, he's pushed across, so we put a shot into him, and we managed to just pick up a little bit of assistance here. We've got 400 damage, 1,200 assistance, so going for the third mark, we already had a pretty decent start to the game, because there's obviously a lot of tanks left. Now, Petty managed to slap that guy, put him on a one shot, and then I go straight through his turret and finish him off, because the armour on this tank, it's not great. Like, you definitely wouldn't rely on armour, basically. Never rely on bouncing shots in this tank. But you do get the bounces, So it's one of those ones where don't rely on it, but it's not uncommon that you get a couple of bounces. It's that sort of weird shaped armour that sometimes you get those awkward angles and you do ricochet. So yeah, it's quite nice in that regard that they're not always going to penetrate you. But as I say, I wouldn't rely on it, the armour. Like, don't be surprised if people are penning you for your turret, etc. But yeah, as I say, picked up a little bit of damage there. Got just close to 2k assistance now, so it's been a decent start. But I felt it was the time to move forward now. My team has progressed a little bit. There wasn't any annoying light tanks like going around spotting me, so it gave me the perfect opportunity to push down. Because I know if I light these stuff up, I'm feeling very confident with Petty and my team behind me that I'm going to get assistance, and that's exactly what's happened. So I'm using this ridge to proxy spot them, but it means they can't shoot me on the 1-2. I can get shot at the stuff down at the bridge, but now the 1-2 is dealt with, I can just push over and all this, you know, a juicy assistance now. I'm spotting this Churchill, so if anyone shoots over to these two tanks, I'm going to be the one picking up the assistance. And there we go, we've got just up to 3k assistance, so we're already, as far as the mark's concerned, going to move up. So it's been a good game for the mark, but there's still, you know, a fair amount of health left, hopefully, that we can pick up on. We know the rest of the team's going to be sat on the hill. That's the danger of just sitting on the hill, because if you just sit there and get stuck there, what happens is you don't really contribute to the battle. So you're just getting stuck there, and it comes to the end, you're the last one alive, but you're on the hill and you've not really done anything to help your team, so you then can get easy shots on. And I can sort of understand why people sometimes go there, because they're worried that they don't want to get shot at by Arty, but there's only one in the game, and honestly, if you give up the middle, 9 times out of 10 you're losing the game. That's just what happens, really, because map controls everything. You start giving up that map control, you're going to be in trouble, and that's what they did, really. So there was a few people tried to contest it, but once we managed to get rid of them, it's just a case now of just clearing up what's left. Yes, as I say, we're getting some nice shots in. It's just clear up time now, isn't it? We're being a little bit careful because I've only got 400 hit points, but we're managing to get our shots in, and it's a nice little result, really, haven't we? We've got just up to 2,600 damage, 3k assistance. So yeah, been a very decent game for Proc, considering that we're in a 2-man, you see. So I managed to pick up the 5 kills again, just shy of that 6 kills, but we've got 2,800 damage. Got the scout medal, got the high caliber, got over 3,000 assistance. So yeah, pretty decent game, and I'll leave you with that one, and I'll see you in a bit for the final video. Hello, so this is it, the final replay of the video, and it is a big one. We're on steps, and it's encounter, and I love steps, obviously, but when it's encounter battle, I'm always a bit, I don't know, because quite often in the encounter what happens is you get one team just go straight to the cap, one team doesn't go to the cap, and you end up sort of getting, you know, either winning by a cap or losing by the enemy capping, and that's always a little bit frustrating, I think. But you know, we're going to go over to sort of the cap location anyway, mainly because we know the 1-2 is going to be dominated by their heavy tanks, and we're going to be in a brawl, which I'd rather avoid. Basically, I'd rather be able to try and use the little bit of gun depression we have, and just make use of the mobility of being in a medium tank. Really, we are top tier. We've got good matchmaking, so yeah, that's quite nice. We're going to push up to this location, see if we can spot anything. We see this light tank, so you notice I'm sort of aiming just to see if I can get a shot in. Yeah, just on the move, really. We're going to see if we can get a little shot into him. We're going to aim this. Hopefully we can get an early bit of damage, and we do, and that's always a good it's a good sign when you get that sort of first shot of the game, nice and early, nice, you know, damage on the board. That's always a good feeling. You get a good vibe to the game at that point. So we're going to push in. We do have a bit of support coming behind us, so I'm thinking if I make the play, if I move down here aggressively, hopefully our team will then follow me up and give me a bit of support. That's the thinking anyway. So we can move down. We do get lit. I'm trying to avoid getting shot. Unfortunately, this T-43 is taking a good location, and I don't want to fight him there. I don't want to be brawling when there's a fun police in the game sat there, just because while he's keeping me there, keeping me occupied, the fun police could shoot me. So I decided to move locations and see if I can get a bit closer. Now that location wasn't working for me properly, so I think the gun depression wasn't working, but here I should be able to use my gun depression if they push over, like this tank's just made a mistake of doing. So that's allowed me to get a shot into him, and yeah, I'm going to see if we can just get as much, just try and focus one tank out, take him out, which we do. Now we've got this T-43 to deal with, and it's quite nice that he's in this location because we can get shots into him. Unfortunately, I was struggling a bit there, so I've got to reposition, and now we can only expose our turret, so we've got a chance of bouncing. That was just a poor shot by me there, so we wasted a few seconds, but we're going to aim this one a little bit better. That one goes through, we pick up an extra 10 of damage. Yeah, we've just got to take care of this guy. Well, we've got a team here, so I'm hoping they just push over with me so we can deal with this guy quickly. Because the enemy team has won the other flank. But what I really don't want to happen now is kind of what I sense is going to happen, is that we've won this nice and early, but then we're just going to cap out. That's the sort of vibe I was getting at the moment. So at the moment, because of that, I'm just trying to push in as quickly as I can, because in my mind, we're going to cap out in 40 seconds. And I want to get the most out of the game while we can. So I'm pushing over here to see if there's any damage. This Panther's now coming. I want to try and close the distance, see if I can get, you know, behind this rock, because he's got more health than me. He's probably going to out DPM me. So I managed to bounce a shot there, and that's the sort of what I say. This can bounce shots. I was trying to keep him tracked in place, because if I tracked him there, I hope I'd get the support by my team, and just see if we can take him out. Because yeah, I'll say it's 20 seconds on the clock, and I was kind of thinking, oh, we're just going to cap out. This Panther could be my last bit of damage I'm going to get. And obviously I was quite close to the free mark at this point, so I didn't want to, I wanted to make the most out of it. Now he sort of pushed right round. We should be able to finish him off. He's only got 2 health. We do. And the enemy, you know, there's 19 seconds on the clock. I'm thinking, at this point, oh, enemy, just poke over and get the reset. And they do. So that's good. That's allowed us more time now to get some damage in. Unfortunately, what seems to be happening, though, is because our team was more concentrated with capping than killing the enemy team, they've now been pushed in. So they're in an awkward position because they've allowed the enemy to get the high ground on them. And what happens when they do that is the people sitting in the cap become easy farms for the people shooting down on them, because there's no way for them to really hide. So what you really want to do in that situation, if your team is capping, if you actually pushed up early when you saw the team pushing around the 1-2, you can catch them in a massive crossfire, and they'll be in the open and it'll be easy for you to shoot. But what we've done is the opposite of that. They've stuck in the cap, and because of that, suddenly a winning game is turned into a losing game. And now I'm just trying to get the shots into guys while they're occupied with our tanks, basically. But it's now just gone from the game was winning to now a 2 versus 6. So it's not looking very likely we're going to win now. And at this point, I'm thinking if I stay where I am now, it's only a matter of time till I'm dead. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to die. But I thought, if I'm going to die, maybe we can take out that fun police with us, for good measure. So we're going to push down, and we're going to see if we can take the fun police out. We'll see an opportunity to aim our shot. We get why they're distracted killing our other teammate. Like I say, I do feel a little bit bad for leaving him, but at the same time, we're just going to both die if we stay there. So we've got that shot into the RT. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have time to get another shot into him there. I'm trying to avoid getting shot at, basically. We're in a 1 versus 6 scenario here. The only real chance of winning this game right now is if I'm able to kill this artillery quickly, because I need to kill him and then move, basically. If I get stuck where I am now, it's not going to look good. So I'm hoping I'm going to get an easy shot into him, but the gun depression is sort of a little bit awkward, and the RT's not making it awkward for me, because obviously I don't want to get shotgunned, but at the same time I'm kind of up against it, because I know the enemy team is closing in me, and every time I'm delayed here means I'm not going to be able to get out. And that shot there, I feel like cost me quite a bit of damage in the end, because it derped, and I've had to waste all this extra time. And if I would have killed him just then, I'm not, let's be realistic, I probably would have lost, but I still had a chance, because now they've closed in on me and I can't get out of this location. I was trying to get the sniper and that tiger just so I can finish out him, but I missed the pixel shot. We've got another opportunity. We do get the kill, but as you can see now, this IS is got too healthy for me to fight, and I've been pinned in, and unfortunately I just get shut down by that KV2. He's just finished me off, and that is a big shame, because I think if I didn't, if I could have killed the RT quickly, I had a chance of getting distance, and you know, who knows what could happen. But either way, it's a great game, you know, for a tier 7 tank. I got the ace tank on a loss. I got the high caliber. Got like 4,000 sort of 600 damage, I think it was. Got 6 skills. So yeah, got the top gun. So yeah, all in all, it's a a decent game really. Got, was it 4,500 damage, 444 assistance. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed the replays. Obviously, I'm gonna keep getting them out there as long as you keep watching them. So as always, happy tanking.